Starting. Alright, cool. We're starting. Right. Sorry, there was for some reason my laptop doesn't have a lot of space on it anymore, and there's nothing on it, so maybe people don't like hearing my rants or something. I have no idea. Anyway, here's another one. So, I was thinking the other night, and I was actually looking at a wind satellite. So there's an app. It's a global app, and you can zoom in, say, to Australia like this. You can see how the wind is pushing against or going around the world, how it swirls around the world, right? And when you're looking at it, you can see it almost pushing against the edges of the actual countries, and it's essentially terraforming the world as the wind goes around, and it's moving the seas and stuff. So as the sea comes in, as the wind goes around, it pushes the sea. So the sea's coming in and it's pushing the sea all different directions, and the wind's coming around and it's pushing the land, and it's just slowly corroding away at the land, and also as it's going over the land, pushing, piling up dirt and soil, and then sort of like coming down and pushing in out into the sea again. Okay, so essentially the wind is terraforming the whole planet, moving the sea and moving all the earth around. And then I started thinking a little bit deeper, and then so I'll read out what I was actually thinking and going through. So I was thinking last night how the wind crosses the planet and it pushes and wears the edges of the lands, creating erosion, which is probable to the sea rising, if it is. It's also creating hills, lands, valleys, and moving the waters and the sea, etc., which is what I just said. If you watch the wind movements, it's showing how it's forming the earth. Okay, so that was literally what I was sort of showing you. We also know that space is freezing cold. Alright, so hear me out on this. So in the universe, there's a clashing of intense heat with the sun and freezing cold temperatures of space. So you got the sun, you got all this ice cold air around it, right? Freezing cold temperature of space, which could be how the Big Bang happened, because if you put something really cold against something really hot, it's going to crack. Bang, pow. Okay, so that's a probable theory. And we happen to be a ball of what we know to be intense heat in the core of the Earth, okay, our planet. So reacting to this clash in the position where we are within the universe could be how the Earth started rotating and reacting to how it created life. Okay, so what I mean is, like, bang, maybe we came from the sun, part of that bang, because of that intense coldness around it. So it's come off, and we've still got that little bit of ball of heat inside us, and it's kind of, as it's cooled, it's somehow turned into, with all the gas molecules and all that kind of stuff, it's turned into like a solid, which has formed the crust of the actual Earth and whatnot, and then it's created like an atmosphere, almost like the coldness, like, and it starts swirling and swirling and swirling, which is basically like the air, the wind, and it's kind of created like that atmosphere, sort of like dry ice is, but it's so cold that it's created, it's almost like force field, and it's like, pushing it around. So that's how like the winds sort of come about. And then somehow within all that, on top of the crust of the Earth, it's formed like a petri dish, which is created like, the cells and life and stuff, because it's like the perfect balance of like heat and cold and like the swirling around and whatnot, the movement. And it's like, these guys, they need oxygen, they need the movement, they need the water. So, and that's how an ecosystem starts, right? That's how things grow. That's the form of all life as we know it on this planet, because we don't know that there's life on any other planet. Okay, so where was I up to on my planet? So they're creating life and whatnot. Okay, so the heat's being cooled by space and heated by the sun, and it's pushing in rotation, creating an atmosphere around it, which I was just saying, and the fire within the planet expands as it creates solid ash type material, which turns into dirt and land, just creating the perfect balance, creating an ecosystem. I was just explaining that. Okay, So now it's possible that in the far depths of the universe, similar to us having a sun, there's a frozen, almost a frozen version of a sun. It's like a really cold big ball star, or just like the sun, equivalent to the sun, a polar opposite, as you will. Okay, which could mean that there's another Earth, but rather than us being close to the sun, it's close to the cold version, which is just way beyond. We only know, like, say this much of the universe. Earth's here, the sun's over here. We only know like so much, and then the universe could still expand, and then there could be this ice thing which is causing the coldness of space, and maybe that's had its own little Big Bang. There's a freezing cold version from the heat coming across. It's got its own opposite version of our universe. So we're closer to the heat, it's closer to the cold, right? So another universe similar to ours, which works on as a frozen version, so to speak, where the balance is flipped to the opposite. Also, if we were to harness the power of cold and heat, okay, so to actually turn that into some sort of power mechanism, some sort of fuel, not necessarily condensing a fuel, but just harness that when we can sort of almost like a solar power, and we can push it into energy. Right, if we can use that as an energy, maybe like the clash of heat and cold, and maybe use that to propel us, okay, it could help us propel through space around Earth and everything easier. Which could also be, if there's aliens and UFOs, if that could be what they do. Maybe they use the elements, so that's why they can zip around, like the ones you've seen recently. They just zoom off. Maybe they just know how to do that. They just go, oh, we concentrate on the cold, boom, pop up back into space. So they could use elements to propel themselves around the universe and our planet if they do visit or explore, because they can also use the poles of our Earth and zoom around that way. It also means if there's life closer to the sun, they could be housing internally to our planet, because our planet is a lot more hotter. So because it's hotter temperature, they could actually go into volcanoes and live in a warm environment. Okay, so either way, I mean, to get to it, we desire the perfect warmth. We desire warmth, a perfect balance of heat and cold. We desire harmony, love, and peace. So we want balance, harmony, love, and peace in life. That's just what humans want with everything. Okay, it makes us feel relaxed, makes us feel when things are perfectly made or running perfect, being a machine, object, relationships. When you've got harmony and peace, the feeling is love and happiness. We feel relaxed, everything feels perfect. Okay. You've got a car that's completely running perfect, no problems, it's harmonious, the sound of it's perfect, it's like a beautiful hum, it's very relaxing, no matter how loud it can be. It's like, you got a house where everything's set up perfectly and stuff, it gives you harmony, it gives you peace, and relaxes you. Yeah, it's what we actually strive for, regardless of the wars and all that kind of retarded bullshit. It is actually what we strive for. So therefore, it's evident in our life that our mission is to create balance, love, harmony, and peace with each other on every level. And then, after we achieve that, can we progress thoroughly with life? It's just evident just from that. It just makes sense. That's all it is. We just need balance and harmony and peace, which is essentially harmony, and love, which is essentially balance, peace, harmony. Okay, so why, if all the response to these elements, do we have feelings? And like, if we're just a thing that wants harmony, why aren't we just like a thing that just wants harmony? Why are we individuals? Why do we feel like we have a soul? The vibrations giving off from the reaction is basically causing a hum from the hot and the cold. It's like starts to create like a hum, a noise, almost, as you will, which are like vibrations within us. Okay, which is how we are and how things are, objects are. So vibrations given off this reaction of cold and hot creates like a vibration hum. Therefore, a feeling, which is why us and other animals and stuff have feelings. Okay, you scare something, oh, like you're throwing out a different vibration. We're just able to sort of control and manipulate vibrations a little bit. So technically we're all like a feeling, and our mission is to calibrate and create love, peace, harmony, bliss, balance with our feelings. Okay, I don't know what or if anything has created this universe on a mass scale. If we're like a small part, and then there's other versions on a bigger scale outside the universe. But it's evident that we actually need to practice harmony, working together with love, understanding, and peace in order to make all life, everything calibrate properly. Like if you were to put something that's not meant to be in this fish tank in there, it's going to start disrupting, bullying everything, and it's like, it starts to put like a negative vibe to it. If you have the right balance of things and you actually watch them breed and everything, it gives you love, peace, balance, harmony, especially when they've got like, the perfect space and everything like that. Like I said with the cars, you have a perfect car that's set up properly and everything, trouble free. It's peaceful, it's relaxing. It's with everything. Like if you walk into a place, you got the perfect amount of space, the temperature's right and everything, you got the perfect people with you. It's harmonious, it's peaceful, you feel love from it, you feel bliss, it's balanced, it's life, and you feel like, this is life, you know what I mean? As far as people trying to throw that out of whack, for power or whatever, they're just retarded. That's evident in everything that I just discussed. So just from wind being in our atmosphere, I was able to figure out in probably about 15-20 minutes, just really thinking about it, that is essentially the way of life. It just makes sense. We're just meant to vibe with each other, with animals and everything, with a loving sense, try to create bliss and harmony without some sort of power play or domination or anything. We're just meant to, we're here for harmony, peace, bliss, and then once we do that, the universe will start moving forward. The earth, people, humanity, everything will start moving forward in a proper way that we are meant to do through the natural cycle of life, not only on the planet but within the universe, and if there's other universes, we're holding them back as well, and so on and so on. That's if, but still, either way, even on a small scale, it helps us, and it's just going to vibrate through the bigger scales, businesses and whatever. So all this greed and all this crap that's going on, it's definitely not needed, and it's just holding life back 100%. Okay, peace, love, harmony.